starting the stream now. Just, oh, okay, I guess they're going into champion select. So, on the blue team, we have, Team Jong Youngins versus Team Zesty Taco on the red side. And the first ban coming out is Vladimir. Vladimir is a champion that has become more popular in 5.7, partially due to the rise in Cinderhulk meta, because Cinderhulk favors a lot tankier and kind of slower champions who, with prolonged team fights, Vladimir always really good for sustained damage and able to deal with high health targets with low damage very easily. So, going to the last second for a red team. They are banning out the Rumble. I guess they're worried perhaps for a very strong ultimate, obviously, the Equalizer. Rumble hasn't seen as much play recently, and Cho'Gath coming out too. Kind of similar to Vlad, although he does have the Feast, which will do true damage to any target of his choosing. And yeah, these bans are going a lot more slowly than the last game we saw between Or Gotta Be Kidding Me and Hi Friends. Either they're putting a lot of thought into this, or they haven't really scouted much and they're just kind of trying to figure out what to do here. And a Lulu being banned away. Lulu always very popular with protect the AD carry compositions, such as the protect the double lift or Juggernaut. So I don't know if blue team is going to be trying to run something like that, because those usually take a lot of coordination to be able to pull off. But nevertheless, Lulu is banned away now. Going down to the last second Sejuani ban. We saw this from the blue team in the last game too, actually, because if they want to get a power first pick or like a comfort champion for one of their laners, leaving the Sejuani open is always very dangerous, because her Glacial Prison is such a great team fighting tool. So banning that on the blue side, if you don't want to first pick it, is usually a pretty solid choice. And purple team gonna be debating over their last ban, going down to 1 second every time here, and the Sivir coming out. So, Sivir very good with high engage compositions, and Ari being instantly locked by the blue team. I guess that might be a comfort champion for one of these players. I don't really know what any of these players play. I do know Emo Dinosaur and Nutmeg, because they are well, I know them, but I don't really know exactly what their favorite champions are. So anyways, Ari gonna be instantly first picked. It's a very safe first pick, because it's very hard to kind of shut down Ari in lane, because she's just so safe with the added movement speed from her Q, as well as her ultimate after she hits level 6. Gragas jungle being hovered. It's usually going to go jungle if they're picking Gragas. And he's a very strong high pressure jungler right now. With his ultimate that can pretty much decide a team fight if he lands it very well. And I thought you were locking in the Graves, so very high damage team coming out so far from the red side. And with Graves, I wonder if they're going to go with Graves having so much burst, I wonder if they're going to go with a more pick style oriented team comp, or we'll see what they decide to do there. And a lot of AD carries being hovered for Algu WoW. A lot of consideration being pulled in. With these two picks, we might start to see kind of the team composition starting to be formed. So Lucian is also pretty versatile. He can pretty average, or not necessarily average, but pretty decent all around the game, and a good turret pusher. And the Nautilus locked in, who has been a very popular support as of late, because they buffed the damage on his E. So that will allow him to get a lot of good trades early on. And Lucian, one of the champions that's very good at following up with damage, because he can dash in, do the piercing light, get double hits onto Graves. Braum going to be hovered. We'll see if that's what they actually want to do. With the Braum Maokai, that will give them a very solid engage, because they do have the Gragas ultimate as well as the Maokai, who, if he wants to, he can teleport or flash into it. And then Braum blocking a lot of these skill shots that blue team has, because all three of these champions on the blue side do use skill shots quite a lot, or projectiles, I should say, not necessarily skill shots, but projectiles quite a lot. So Brahms Unbreakable Wall will be able to, or sorry, Brahms E will be able to block those Teemo being hovered. If it's a Teemo, that would be very interesting. And then the Urgot, Teemo Urgot, strong power picks for sure. Urgot has seen popularity in the LCS as well as around the world, like LCK, for his ability to lock down very strong AD mids, or just with the bonus armor that they added to his shield. And actually, Zach is, well, no, Gnar. We'll see what they lock in. Janna would be interesting, the Janna Gnar, because they do have both teams have a very strong engage, but if they pick Janna, that would give them a little more versatility in being able to get away from fights if they want to. And I would like to see a Bard, because that's not a champion that's very popular, just because his mechanics are a little strange. And it is going to be the Janna, so that will help them a lot with the strong engage that red team has. However, I will note that Janna can't block Maokai while he's using his Twisted Advance, as well as Janna might not be able to save anyone if they got caught out by the Gragas ultimate. So, while it's definitely like a good defensive pick, it might not be enough to save somebody if they're caught out of position, because Twisted Advance, Maokai becomes untargetable, so he'll still reach his target, and afterwards you can obviously Monsoon or use the Tornado to disengage, but that we'll see if that will be enough or not. And Gnar in the top lane against Maokai, that's going to be a pretty just kind of slugfest. Maokai is going to be trying to sustain against the percent damage, and the Urgot is coming in. Very excited to see this coming out. We'll see how it does against the Ahri, who's a very mobile champion, if she can dodge the Acid Hunter. But yeah, Urgot, once he hits, he's very strong in the mid game, but doesn't do quite as much damage as Ahri in the late game. So we'll see if red team right now, Team Zesty Taco, is going to be able to push their advantage to get some early dragons or outer turrets before Ahri and Gnar get really tanky into the late game. So it's going to be very interesting. What I like about both these team compositions is that neither of them are really kind of they can do several things fairly well, because you have the Braum or the Gragas can also be used if you really need to disengage. Urgot very immobile, which is one of the reasons why he wasn't played for 3 years. But then you have like Ahri and Janna, who are good at disengaging as well. So if things go sour, I don't think that either team will really be caught in a bind. And although I think blue team scales a little better into the very late game, Lucian and Graves are about equal. They fulfill pretty similar roles, with Graves being a little more teamfight burst, but Lucian bringing a little better turret sieging. So Ahri and Gnar do very well in the late game, just simply because Gnar will have that percent damage chunking, as well as Ahri being just skills a little bit better than Urgot, because after Urgot hits his spike of the Mirror Man and Last Whisper Brutalizer, which to be fair, that's a very that's not a short spike. That he'll be strong for a long time, but his damage doesn't scale the best. So yeah, we'll just see which team can get better ward control, because they both do have good lockdown. I'd say blue team does have slightly better disengage, just because they have the Janna, the end-all be-all of getting out safely into lane. And actually, I think I will post in the group just to bump this up. Let's see, team Zesty Taco. Is it single or plural tacos? I'll have to. What did I put on the stream? Oh, it's singular taco. Okay, they only need one of their tacos to be Zesty. Versus Team Kim Jong Youngin. live now. Alright. Alright, so going into this game, we still do have a minute of loading time. We'll see what they decide to do. I actually might want to look up their masteries going into this. And looks like, from we can see here, the blue team does seem to be individually a little higher ranked, but it might not make that big of a difference. If the because it's a for friends tournament, you're often going to see a lot more team synergy than you would in a captain's draft, just because they're used to playing with each other. Now we're getting some armor penetration and magic resist against the Maokai top, so pretty standard. Ooh. Already getting a lot of little snippets. She has 1 attack damage rune, 1 critical chance rune, 1 CDR per level, or no, a few CDR per levels. But yeah, she just has a lot, I suppose. And alright, I'll switch to the league, and we can get into game. This is not a good sign. Okay, we'll try that again. I got an error message saying that the client died. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. Okay, there we go. Alright, they're loading in. We do see pretty standard summoner spells as well. By both teams. Urgot does go for the ignite, so he will be trying to use his hyperkinetic position reverser aggressively into the lane. Nautilus rocking the Season 2 icon and Battle of the TSM fans. Actually, a lot of 3 TSM fans in this game. Unfortunate, since I'm a CLG fan, but oh well. Alright, we are getting into game. Now, we'll see what they decide to do for the level 1s. Both teams actually have a fairly strong level 1. You have the Ari, who does a lot of AoE damage, as well as the Lucian. But Nautilus with the Dredge line can really lock someone down, and Gnar can also add more slows with his Boomerang. But on the other side, you have Braum, who's one of the greatest level 1 champions in the game. And then the Graves Gragas for even more AoE damage. And Urgot being able to constantly spam out his Q. So those Acid Hunters will be would do a lot of damage. And you can see blue team actually going for a very defensive setup. Whereas Graves is getting a little close there to the bush. You'll be seeing if that gets... he'll be putting a little more of an aggressive ward, and Gnar hanging around this side. We can see GLHFs coming out, and you two, very polite, very nice players all around, I must say. So yeah, looks like they'll both be doing a pretty standard start. Both junglers starting on the safe side of the map, and I do say this: the bottom side is the safe side, even though they're different camps for each jungler, because the problem is if you start on the top side for either jungler, you can't get your your bot lane to come help you out. And having 2 people this close by when you're starting off in case of invade is so helpful. So if you're starting on the top side, yes, I mean, you still have equal number of players on the map, but you're just having 2 people get there a lot earlier is just more beneficial. So, alright, they are starting the game. They'll be leashing a little bit here, and Gnar and Maokai just gonna be going up to duke it out. We'll see, actually, Urgot already taking a little bit of damage here. I'm curious to see how Emo Dinosaur does against Gank by Mom in the mid lane. I think that might be a pretty interesting matchup to look out for, and they are trying to shove for that level 2. Looks like Graves and Braum will get the advantage. They already get some damage onto Fushi right now, and they do shove in the wave a little bit. Graves and Dana trying their best to keep that even or try to get that level 2 favor. Neither of these teams have the greatest level 2 power spikes, but it is still very useful to have because you do get the tornado. You can see that she got Eye of the Storm first, and Braum will get his Q or E. Unbreakable or Winter's Bite. Whichever one you usually get your Q first. But yeah, he now has the E to block that if that were to happen. And Jungler's going pretty standard, no cheesy ganks. You can actually see Gnar putting a very early 3-minute ward there. The jungle slowed down a little bit since last season, where 3 minutes was about the time of the usual first gang top. But it slowed down a little bit, and you can see Gragas going for the Krugs as opposed to landing. Actually, Emo Dinosaur landing a lot of Acid Hunters after he got his corrosive charge off. So Ari gonna be taking a lot of damage, and she needs to be really careful because Urgot is one of the highest damage, one of the highest poking champions in lane if he managed to get the corrosive charge off. And they are trading. Lucian gets a good double hit off, kind of abusing Graves' slight mispositioning there. We'll see if that really amounts to anything, but there is a large wave pushing for blue side, so I wonder if Gygas is going to try to come down into the bottom lane, because they know Lucian and Janna will be slightly pushed up coming into the next couple minutes. You can see him coming down. He might be just coming to get Gromp, however. So we'll see how that goes. Graves taking a little more poke and trying to answer, but Janna, with the bonus movement speed she gets with her passive, is able to easily dodge those out. And top lane is just pretty much as expected. Both players just kind of farming. Not just trying to take as little damage from the Maokai spells. Maokai trying to avoid as many auto attacks as he can. Both mid laners actually putting their wards out right there. Worried about that gank. And Gragas is actually near the Scuttle Crab. We'll see if he's not actually going for that. He might be going for a gank mid lane. We'll see if that pans out. He decides to change his mind and go bot lane instead because fortunate for him, Nautilus is closer to the mid lane, but he is going in. Braum actually lands the Q. Are they going to be able to get the stun? He flashes forward. Graves is trying to do more damage, but Jan does flash away. And Gragas comes in, isn't really able to do much, but they do get a lot of harass onto Foshi. And Lucian gonna be trying to get some return autos, but they need to be careful. Nautilus is here for the counter engage. Looks like Gragas is gonna be coming up forward. Do they know Nautilus is here? I don't think so. They pop the exhaust, but Nautilus comes out. He lands his passive onto them, and he hooks in Graves. Is our Founder going down? No, he jumps out. Now the focus is switching to Nutmeg. All the split targets on the red side means that they can't get any stuns on. Meanwhile, Gnar actually gets first blood. Manages to get enough harass and gets a double jump to lock that down. Gets the advantage in the top side. While in the bot lane, everybody is super low, but they managed to get away just barely. And Lucian and Janna are a lot healthier, but they also have a lot less mana. So we'll see if they're able to, if Arthadra and Braum, I'm not gonna, that name might be a little too long to say out loud, if they can actually get some return damage because they have a mana advantage. Meanwhile, Emo Dinosaur actually gets hit by the charm, but gonna be landing Acid Hunter after Acid Hunter, and that Crystal Flask really coming in handy, giving him mana regen over Ari, who just has that Doran's ring. And he even lands another corrosive charge. Yeah, you can see she's just kind of getting bullied back to behind her turret. And meanwhile, Lucian keeping the pressure at bottom. He is going back now. He does have enough for pickaxe and boots if he wants it. Janna does have enough for her Sightstone. So I thought you're going to be staying in lane a little bit. He did just... oh, that's Gragas, sorry. I was a little confused as to why he had the Ranger's Trailblazer. But yeah, he does have 1400. He might be trying to stick around for the BF sword. And yes, Lucian does pick up boots and Doran's blade. Janna does get her Sightstone. But meanwhile, the kill Gnar has top lane. Brutalizer. That, well, I'm not going to go for the obvious pun though. But that is going to be really painful for Maokai. And he is accruing a small CS advantage. But Maokai does have the wave pushing out. So actually Gnar going in, he does get Mega Gnar. Maokai staying a little far forward with the Brutalizer. Gnar pops his ultimate. I think Maokai is going down. Great twisting nether to try to get away. And here comes Gragas to save him. Maokai actually gets out of there, even without having his flash up. Great presence of mind, knowing that he's still in range of the minions to be able to get out of there. Narbla's ultimate, but forcing Gragas to come top means that blue team can get a free dragon as response. So great job by Nar, just abusing the lead he has in lane to force the jungle pressure and giving the rest of his team an incremental advantage. The first dragon won't really do much in the next few minutes, but just stacking that up for the future buffs will be very useful. They're going a little aggressive on the Braum. I don't know if they're actually Nautilus flashes into the dredge line, but Braum manages to get out of there. Dredge line did hit the wall instead of Braum, unfortunately. So they aren't quite able to pull that off, but they did get the dragon, and they are going to back off. Meanwhile, Urgot gets kind of pushed back. He might be holding a little back because they know that the Kim Jong Youngins were able to get the dragon, so it could have been a little dangerous if he stuck out in the mid lane there. So wise decision making by him. Lucian, meanwhile, going to be putting a little bit of auto attack damage onto Graves, but keep in mind that even though Lucian got a little bit of an advantage early, Graves does have his BF sword, so Graves can put in more burst overall. But we'll see if Lucian is able to dodge the Graves ultimate, because if he is, usually you can't really do that just by walking with boots, but you'd usually use your dash or flash. But actually, Lucian just abusing his positioning more so he's able to actually get an aggressive advantage against our Thadra here, and that's just great zoning by Lucian, even though he has less attack damage overall. And I guess the dragon buff will be helping him slightly, but Graves has 30 more attack damage, as you can see from these stats. So just good job by the bottom lane. Meanwhile, Emo Dinosaur, now that he knows that he has a pink in the top side, he's just going to be bullying Ahri. And actually, he's kind of staying near the bottom side. He might want to be staying up here instead, because that's where he really has the ward coverage. He might be worried about Maokai showing up there. Or, not Maokai, Nautilus, sorry. But nevertheless, he will be getting a lot of free damage onto Ahri. Ahri going to try to heal that back up, but isn't quite able to do so just yet. There it is, and Grag's actually going to be sitting here because they have a pink ward in there, knowing that they don't have vision, but he will back off, realize that Urgot's kind of pushing forward, and Ahri having her level 6 Spirit Rush now is going to be very difficult. Actually, Braum lands a Q on Lucian. He's going to flash and dash away. Forces the flash out for the use of his ultimate and flash, but we'll see if they can abuse that now. After Braum's ultimate comes back up. Meanwhile, in the top lane, you can see that Maokai is still getting a lot of damage. He does have the catalyst. Actually, Nautilus coming in, Charm lands onto Ahri, and Nemo Dinosaur tries to use his ultimate, but he gets interrupted. He's going super low. Is he going to be able to clean up Ahri? No, looks like Ahri will get the first kill, but is she going to get away? Gragas has almost got it. He does have her. Nutmeg cleans up the kill. Can he jump away? Nautilus does not have a jump over the wall, so that trade is 1 for 1. 1 kill for Ahri and 1 kill for the Gragas. And we'll see who gets the better of that, because if Ahri can kind of abuse this around the map, then it might turn out better for them. But you can see just the bullying that Urgot has done in lane has put him up 25 CS, or 24 CS I suppose, but 24 CS, that's almost 2 kills advantage in gold just from CSing. So actually that kill really did nothing but help Ahri catch up a little. So that might be crucial in keeping it so that Ahri doesn't get completely bullied by Urgot. Because if she's losing the lane when Urgot has rushed the tier, that's kind of a bad sign, because the tier obviously is a very weak lane, early buy in terms of damage output, because it doesn't give you any damage. So it would, yeah. So Ahri's gonna have to try to catch back up there, and we'll see if Gragas can use his kill to put a little pressure on the map. He does use that extra gold to get his boots out, so giving him a little more mobility around the map. Meanwhile, he's just going to take Gromps. Lucian going back. He does have enough for his BF sword. Meanwhile, Graves actually has enough for another BF sword. Probably not going to be picking that up and go instead for the Infinity Edge. Acid Hunter coming out, hitting Ahri once. And she just look how safe she has to play right now because Urgot does so much damage, and she's actually playing very smart because even though like she has her Spirit Rush, if she gets the position reverser on her when then Gragas shows up, that's like a guaranteed ultimate into the turret. So very smart and safe play by Ahri, knowing how to minimize her losses, even though she's a little behind in this lane. And meanwhile, top lane, we saw Gnar get that first solo kill, but hasn't been able to since. And actually, here comes a hyperkinetic position reverser. Gragas gonna come in, gonna try to land the ultimate. Oh, Ahri uses her Spear Rush to get out of there. Very difficult for Gragas to land an ultimate there because Ahri can instantly press R and kind of get out of that free without any penalties. So they do try to make something happen, but are unable to do so. She's a little bit now. And actually, Braum roaming up. He does have his ultimate back up. I don't know what he wants to do here, but Janet will be getting a deep ward into this. Dragon up in 9 seconds. That will spot out red team if they plan to go for a dragon. Actually, Urgot coming in, gonna try to punish Janet, but look how slow his crab legs are. Actually, his robot legs are, I suppose. But he still looks like a crab, even if he's not using the crab got skin. Actually, Maokai with his Catalyst and Blasting Wand is able to out-sustain Gnar's harass right now. You can see Gnar's out of potions with the Crystalline Flask as well as the bonus health. Maokai is starting to get a little bit more control in the lane, and look at that damage that Urgot is doing just with the Brutalizer. That'll actually push him off the dragon contesting dragon, and now just gets his Mega Gnar from him. He's gonna use his ultimate. Maokai not quite careful enough about playing around the Gnar Rage Bar, and that's something you always have to keep in mind. He did get the better trade in the beginning, but just kind of being a little greedy and not careful enough about Gnar's potential to just turn that around. And actually, Lucian getting completely caught out, just destroyed by everything. Braum used all the cooldowns there, just did not want to see him get away again. And they pick up their first kill in that bottom lane. That is in addition to this 30 CS lead that Graves already has. So, you saw Janet get chunked out early, which gave him the ward control. Now they get the kill, meaning that they just get this dragon. There's really nothing blue team can do. They're busy clearing wards while the red team is busy clearing dragon. And Ahri gets a little bit of poke, just gonna scare them off. But speaking of poke, look at that damage. Once he, oh my gosh, he actually flashes forward for the ultimate, but Nautilus has been there almost every time. The charm comes out from Ahri, she actually jukes the Acid Reverser, and Gragasol misses. Gnar comes in meanwhile, and Emo Dinosaur is able to pick up the kill, but Nautilus gets a return kill into Emo Dinosaur. Here comes Janet, and she going in ultimate. Oh, great flash from Braum, knowing the monsoon's coming out, but now Graves is going down. Everyone in the game in this fight right now. Mega Gnar comes out, and Braum's clutch flash are going to be able to save him, but they do pick up that kill onto Graves, which means that without any wave clear on this team, since Maokai is just kind of dying, actually, he's not dying. He's hooking Nautilus under the turret. The sap that up. Meanwhile, Gnar gets that kill, but they should be able to get this turret with Lucian and Gnar. Once this minion wave comes in, I don't think red team's gonna be able to get here in time. And Ahri's even going to the top lane just to get some make sure that experience doesn't get wasted. And Lucian gonna be getting that turret with Gnar. They're gonna back off. That was one crazy fight, but in the end, you can see Gnar's 3-0, so that might be really tough for Maokai in the top lane going forward. Maokai was able to kind of come back. He did actually just get his Rod of Ages, which will help him out immensely in terms of being able to scale with the Gnar. But we'll see what Gnar is able to buy now. He did just get his Ninja Tabi and the Spectre's Cowl, so gonna be able to take that poke. Spectre's Cowl does give you the bonus regen as well. And actually, Lucian a little bit behind here, but Janna gonna be able to shield the turret, and they should be able to defend this no problemo. And Graves gonna be going in for Ahri. They know that her flash was burned. They might be trying to burn her ultimate too. So is he gonna go in for the jump ultimate? Ahri gonna be hugging this bush so closely, gets the slow, and he just kind of jumps and gets out of there. Very, very happy that he was able to burn the ultimate basically for free. All he took was a couple of hits from that, and coming back around knowing Ari was about to ward that instantly, so now they have pretty much a free gank onto Ari. She has 0 escapes. We'll see if he decides to come once again. Meanwhile, Nautilus just going to take control of the bottom side of the map in response. Red team does already have a ward here, but the Scuttle Crab does go to blue team. And actually, Gragas going to be getting the top lane. Is Team Zesty Taco going to be able to kill Gnar? They want to stop him after his 3-0. Get that kill onto him. And a great ultimate coming out, shoving him back. Gnar's Megaform had just popped, so good timing by Team Zesty Taco. Going to shove him out, though. Looks like that Spectre's Cowl proving to be pivotal in surviving there. But they will force him back, allowing Maokai to catch up in CS a little bit. And Maokai will be probably starting to get that Frozen Heart against this AD heavy team. It's a little AD heavier, but nothing too much of a problem because you do have that Ari who does do tons of damage. But meanwhile, Urgot just got his man immune after he had backed, so this is going to be really dangerous for Ari. She has her Morellos, but that's 1 item to 1.5 for Urgot. And especially, we'll keep track of the stacks on its tier. It's already at 560, so in the next minute or two, it should be hitting 750. And once you get the Mirror Mana onto Urgot, that's when you really want to push your advantage. You see Dragon coming up in 2 minutes, so his Mirror Mana should actually be finishing right before Dragon comes up. So perfect timing. The Cinder Hulk and the Gromp buff actually stealing blue from Urgot. So BM Nutmeg just saying, Urgot, you're not, I don't trust you with this blue buff. Actually going in Graves versus Lucian. Lucian dodges the ultimate from Graves, gonna be able to pick up that kill. Great job from Algu. Wow, Braum gonna be trying to use his ultimate. He knocks him up. I don't know if he's gonna be able to take him on by himself, but Ari actually turning onto Urgot. She got the jump on him. Hyperkinetic position versus her comes out. That's hard to say fast, but she does pick up the kill. Meanwhile, Nautilus in the bot lane versus Gragas. They're not going to be able to get that kill, but with drag up in 1 minute, they might be able to try to get this turret or set a vision for Dragon, because Urgot down, Graves down. They can't really contest anything on this bottom side. Meanwhile, Gnar pushing his advantage in the top lane too. He almost has Mega Gnar even. Actually, wow. Sorry for panning up there really quick, but Lucian just destroys Braum. I'm guessing that was a dredge line that got him out of position. I do apologize for not seeing that kill, but that will mean they're going to back off. Actually, they don't want to back off right now. Dragon is up in 30 seconds. If they need to really stack their teleports so that they can get some wards out first. But they will be going back. If Red Team wants to, they could all group right now and get some ward control over the Dragon Pit. Because actually, Blue Team might not have the timer for that, because Red Team did take it last time and they had complete vision. They had a general sense of when it was coming up, but looks like Jenna will be trying to get some warding out now, and she gets some in that one pixel bush. The Red Team knows that it's up now. 2 people on the blue team are up here. Maokai is in the top lane. Both teams do have teleport, I believe, yes. And they actually clear all this coverage. So now Red Team are going to be in prime position for this Dragon. And Ari and Nautilus aren't even here, but the teleport comes in from Gnar. They have to respect that and back off, because you don't want to get Gnar ulted inside the Dragon Pit. And now they're going to be taking a little bit of control, but the Scuttle Crab going to be giving Red Team unlimited vision. Gnar actually going in, he's gonna land the Gnar, he's not making Gnar yet, he goes in a little too early, so he gets popped. Nutmeg getting pretty low too. Emo Dinosaur gets exhausted, he does pick up the double kill, but now Gank by Mom in the back lane, Killian getting low. Is Alguel gonna be able to clean up? No, here comes Graves and Maokai, they're still healthy. Graves gonna be using his buckshot, Dredge Line gets the kill. But Maokai Braum able to clean up. Ace for Team Zesty Taco. What are they gonna do with this? Are they gonna look? I don't know if they can 2-man Dragon, but I guess they'll try. So great job by them. Yeah. So that will be giving them the dragon. And Emo Dinosaur, even though he was exhausted, he got a double kill right as the fight started. And now blue team really can't answer. They do have side waves a little in their top and mid in their control, but bot lane is going to be pushing in for them. So they should send someone down there, and Jong going to be seeing what she can do. Is she going to slow them down long enough? I don't think she wants to stay around here because Gragas is coming. But that was a pretty chaotic fight. Everyone all over the map, and really what won the fight for red team wasn't... I mean, they did play well, but it was really that Gnar went a little too soon there because he got great positioning, but he just didn't have the Mega Gnar. You had 4 or 5 members all in this choke point, but he just got popped, and he was at almost full. But just losing their top laner instantly in that fight kind of really did them in. And yeah, it took a little while to process exactly what happened because there's so much action, but that does give red team another dragon. That should be their second now, and they're actually going to get the bottom turret out of this as well. Lucian just push it out, and Gragas actually catches Ari getting a little greedy in the raptor pit. Oh my gosh, that chunk from Urgot. You can see that Mirror Man is actually at 725, so didn't quite stack up for that fight, but turned out not to matter too much. Actually, Emo Dinosaur was a little cut out of position. Gragas doesn't have any escapes, or Urgot doesn't have any escapes. Gragas is going to try to ultimate, but I don't think they can really do anything here. Yeah. Monsoon even going to be coming out, not really needed, but going to help out a little bit. Meanwhile, blue team rotates to the top lane too, so just Team Zesty Taco being a little out-rotated right now by Kim Jong Youngin. And you can see Foshi taking a little poke damage, but that's the inner turret down for the blue team, which means all 4 of them can group onto this turret. They do have good wave clear since Gragas is still up with Maokai and Graves. But we'll see if they're if blue team wants to continue pressing this. They are backing off. I think that's a good idea because the longer you wait, the sooner Gragas ultimate's going to come off cooldown. It would be up in about 30 seconds now. So if they stuck around the turret, they might have been able to get caught under that turret. Meanwhile, their red team is actually going to be sending 2 people in the bottom lane. Actually, Urgot just gonna be getting blue buff. He should be getting his Mirror Mana now. Yep, there it is. He does have his Merc Treads as well, starting to build that Glacial Shroud. And he has one choice longsword. He might just have gotten the Glacial Shroud for the CDR and armor, along with the mana, but actually Nautilus gonna be getting out of there. Good tornado by Foshi. Actually, Spooked getting caught out a little bit. He does have Mega Gnar now. Is he gonna jump forward? He needs to use his ultimate before he dies. He gets 2 people, but Emo Dinosaur and Arthaz are getting free damage in the back lane. King My Mom goes in, but he gets chunked. Now they're trying to kite this back. Huge damage from Graves, and that will force blue team to go back there. And you just saw Spooknuke wasn't able to get the greatest of ultimates off yet again, and Nautilus didn't even use his ultimate on the backline. So actually, Emo Dinosaur using Hyperkinetic Position Reverser even dodges the charm. He's gonna try to chunk out Lucian. He does get 1, but Gnar gets a return kill onto Braum. So staying a little bit too long there for the red team. Graves is here. Wow, actually gets completely chunked. Triple kill for Gnar. He's 6-1. Now that he has a Sunfire, he's going to push even faster, and so he's going to start rotating to the bottom side. You can't really split push the inhibitor, but look for Gnar to start becoming even stronger. He has 3,000 gold, and he bought a Banshee's Veil, so catching him is going to be even harder now. You can see that he's been caught by the... he got caught a little bit by the position reverser in that fight, but Graves wasn't there to follow up on Emo Dinosaur's engage, which allowed blue team to just kind of collapse and pick them off 1 by 1. But yeah, so good follow-up by the blue team, even though that they didn't have the greatest engage in this area. They were able to just kind of communicate through that, even though they're low, tell each other they need to pick off first Urgot and then Braum because he was caught, and then just good focusing. So they do have ward control over this side. Dragon's up in a minute and a half. These wards will still be alive, so they're actually all leaving. They need somebody to kind of protect these wards, otherwise they'll just get swept out with no real consequence whatsoever. But they're going to be getting actually a little bit of control up here, maybe if they want to do a Baron, because Baron is alive in this game. It is 27 minutes, and the gold lead blue team is really showing up in both in the in the Gnar mostly with that Banshee's Veil. But you can see that even though Graves started off ahead of Lucian, just being able to stay alive in the fight, he was able to get caught up with that item advantage. And Greg is shoving this top lane so that, or not shoving, but pushing it so that it'll start to slowly build up into this outer turret. And especially the dragon coming up in 30 seconds, that means that blue team either has to use their teleport, or which would give red team then a teleport advantage, or they just kind of have to waste this whole minion wave of experience and gold, and possibly risk getting damage to their turret. So now blue team gonna be trying to wrest control back of this dragon pit, and red team kind of poking them in. Maokai, Braum are still far away, so if they want to start this, blue team might be in a good spot. But they do need to watch out for another position reverser. Nutmeg gonna be clearing out this ward so he can try to get a flank from over this wall with his ultimate. Mega Gnar coming up, that's actually pretty dangerous, because if he doesn't go in right now, actually does go in! He gets a 3-man Gnar ultimate! Braum is getting chunked, a huge Braum ultimate actually coming out, but Arn getting in, a lot of AoE damage coming from Lucian and Gnar, and Ari, and they're just wiping through this entire team! Emo Dinosaur can't do anything, it's at the pentakill! Pentakill for Lucian! Oh my god, that was fantastic. Gnar followed up by the Ari AoE, going in for the little dance there, and seeing what they can do now. Janna wants to start the dragon, but Lucian up here getting wolves. What do you do after you get a pentakill, boys? Take their wolves. But Janna will be soloing that dragon. They kind of need to focus one thing here, because they're really not getting anything. Ari will have the mid turret though, it was already pushed, and they will get this dragon, but great team fight positioning from the blue team. I was saying that Gnar being mega might be bad, because if red team were just to back off there, and they might have given up the dragon, but once the Mega Gnar is down, if they had just backed off to like over here where you couldn't really engage onto them, then they could have just re-engaged, or just rotated to another lane, because they still have both these outer turrets that they could have tried to push. So once that Mega Gnar was on cooldown, blue team really wouldn't be able to fight. So they kind of stuck in there a little too close, and you saw what happened. So great job by Gnar, really knowing that he has to go in now, gets the positioning, and he even got Graves in that. So you really saw that play out, and that gives blue team complete control of this map. If they don't have any more inner turrets on the red side, and actually Gnar going in, he has Mega Gnar, he gets a stun onto Nutmeg, they kind of have to leave him be. Yeah, he's just going down, and oh, is he gonna get away? No, the Janna does pop the Talisman of Ascension. She actually started to build a Magi Soul Stealer a while ago, because she feels that she's been pretty safe in this game, and I'd have to agree, only one death. They do get that pick. Do they want to keep sieging? I'm not sure if sieging is the best option, but Lucian is a good sieger. They do have a lot of dive with Nautilus, but they don't have the Mega Gnar. There is a lot of wave clear on the red team, but they do get the turret down. Braum ultimate comes out. Do they want to fight this? Gnar just doing a lot of damage. Now they have Black Cleaver. Emo Dinosaur getting a little bit caught out here, and they're all going in. Gnar's about to turn Mega. He is Mega, sorry. And he gets the engage again. Meanwhile, there are only 2 people up. This will be an inhibitor. They can't get too close. Now blue team will get that, and they actually, they're going to try to keep pushing here. Are they going to go for the Nexus turrets? Yes, they're trying to shove this in. Wow, is this going to be a very quick end. It looks like it might be. There's 15 seconds on the rest of red team. Actually, Aguwell going in instantly bombs Graves, and they're going for Numeg. This will be an ace. I think they should be able to end this now. 5 seconds on the enemy team, but they can't really engage this by themselves. They need to kill the turret, first of all, because Nar almost just died flat out. Lucian going to be focusing Braum here. Meanwhile, Urgot going to be doing tons of damage on the side. Lucian, good positioning, going to be trying to take down Maokai, but Urgot doesn't quite get the kill. Double kill coming out. That will be the game for Kim Jong Youngins. Wow, very good team fighting by blue team. Kind of reminiscent of Team Solo Mid in that they kind of gave an early lead, but were able to come through with really good positioning and setting up for the team fights. You can see Aguwell 14, 3, and 9. Great positioning in that because he was able to stay alive through a lot of the fights. And yeah, just good engages after the mid game. It was a little rough early on, but blue team definitely brought it back, and great job with the win. Is that CLG? It says Skuzgasku. Yeah. So there we have it. Congratulations. And I'll see you guys next time.